Terrible game between the Cowboys and Jets, but a fantasy buffet to go all around. As expected, these defenses have been bad. Dallas, their lead scorers did exactly what you expected. Dak was great. Javonte Williams had a huge run before the half. Jake Ferguson scores 2 touchdowns before the half. George Pickens, not his biggest day, but he catches the long touchdown over Sauce Gardner. And even on the Jets side, because of garbage time, you had Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor get theirs. But this story was all about Dak and the run game under Brian Schottenheimer, which the quarterback spoke on after the game.
He's a hell of a player, great running back, understands the schemes, understands the pass game, understands what we're trying to get at, always is going to get positive yards. I mean, there's been numbers of plays now where it should have been a negative play, and the guy he's so strong, shakes his defender off of him, still gets a first down and third down. Or fourth down, whatever it may be. He's a huge help to this team. He's been a great addition, and credit everything he's doing. But there's a lot of those guys up front tonight who went and created holes for him and played nasty and played to the end of each whistle. And Javonte running hard like he always does resulted in a big night for him.
All right, guys. Well, now the question is, can Javonte Williams continue to get away with this? At this point, it just feels like he's in they had 4 backup offensive linemen yesterday, and they were able to run the ball.
The thing is now it's like it's been 5 games now, so this is like a material several.
Physically, he looks different than the guy that was coming off horrible injury in Denver that couldn't get his legs under him.
The thing is, too, is that like Dak Prescott's just playing at such an insanely high level that he is just carrying this offense at the moment. I don't think that is necessarily going to change. Is it like right now he's 1 run away from being second in the NFL in rushing yards behind Jonathan Taylor. I don't think that is probably going to sustain, but the idea that he's a top 10 running back, I think, is perfectly viable.
Clay Latham asked Matthew, is Javonte Williams the steal of the draft?
He's one of them. There's no question. Sure. There's absolutely no question about it. Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them, right? I mean, but he's right up there. You know, if he's not the steal of the draft, he's one of the top 5. There's no question about it. As we head into Monday Night Football, he's the 6th best running back in fantasy. He's running back 4 on the season. For a guy that was kind of left for dead in drafts, and the people that did draft him were kind of like, crap, I kind of punted running back. All right, fine. Javonte Williams, I guess, I hope, right? There was all this preseason buzz about Jaden Blue. He finally makes an appearance in this game. Doesn't do anything. Miles Sanders, nothing as well. He's averaging over 19 touches a game. And look at this upcoming schedule. At Carolina, home to Washington. At Denver, home to Arizona. With the exception of the Broncos, like 3 of the next 4 are really good, are good to great matchups for opposing running backs. And, Jay, your point is absolutely right. Like, if you're a defensive coordinator, kind of pick your poison. Dak Prescott is playing as good as any quarterback in the NFL right now. And so you're sort of like, and as CeeDee Lamb, I mean, even without CeeDee Lamb, right? I mean, whether it's Pickens and Ferguson.
Flournoy yesterday.
Flournoy, like, yeah, I stupidly started Jalen Tolbert, and we'll get to that game. But Jalen Tolbert had a 91% route participation.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah,
earned 1 target.
Cardio. Yeah. Earned 1 target. Like, like I started Tolbert against you, like, stupidly, like, because the thought was right. It was just, apparently it was Flournoy was the guy, not against the Jets, and no Cavante Turbin, 91% route to participation, 1 target, like. Oh, my God. Jalen Tolbert, terrible.
I think a huge part of evaluating players and for fantasy real life is how resilient are they going to be if the context changes? And we've seen now this offense, like, all right, CeeDee Lamb out, still fine, absolutely humming. Yeah. Offensive line decimated, still fine, absolutely humming, because Dak Prescott is just that good at the moment.
He really is. Dak is playing elite. Yes, I don't think Javonte Williams is a sell high. I think he's a legit RB1, low-end RB1, but still a legit low-end RB1 for the rest of the season. And Jake Ferguson is a legit, tight end 1. Honestly, a top 5 fantasy tight end. 4th straight game now with at least 7 receptions and 16 or more fantasy points. Only Trey McBride has a higher target share on his team among tight ends than Jake Ferguson. Again, he's fully healthy. Dak's fully healthy. This offense is rolling. I just mentioned the schedule here. I don't think this is a fluke either.
The only thing is CD coming back, CD being a bit more in the slot, taking more of the intermediate stuff, whether that takes a bit away from Ferguson's target share in his route tree. But yeah, even given that, there's not many tight ends I'd rather have over Jake Ferguson, like Trey McBride, Tyler Warren, Kittle when he comes back.
It's a short
Tucker
list.
Kraft maybe. That's it. Like, I'd rather have Jake Ferguson than Brock Bowers, given the Brock Bowers knee stuff at the moment.
Yep.
We'll see. But he's definitely in the
Fergler.
discussion.
The Fergler is right
Fergalicious.
up there. Fergalicious.
Yeah. Brian Schottenheimer, by the way, Jay, 30-1 to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I think he's got to win the division to win that, but the Eagles don't look great at the moment, so it might be a winnable division.
Yeah, there's 14 coaches above him. I think
that's silly.
Right, I agree.
He should be a top 6.
Think about the hand he was dealt for the year. Your owner traded your best player, who's on defense.
Yep.
You got really nothing to work with on defense. You have to outscore everybody every week by a wide margin.
Yep. The only thing there is like Steichen, Shanahan, Vrabel. Those are 3 pretty imposing names at the top, particularly after Vrabel's win last night.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn's not in the mix.
Also 30-1.
Yeah, see, Schottenheimer should be much shorter than
No, but honestly, like, what, they're 2-2-1, right? The Cowboys are. Let's assume they beat Carolina. Now they're 3-2-1.
Yeah.
My game against they could easily beat the Commanders. Like, at Denver, at Arizona. They go 3-1 over this stretch, however that works out. And now that
he's probably, 20-1 after
Yeah,
that?
I like 30-1. I think it's a good bet. I think he's got to go like at least 11-5 and win the division. Like, it gets tough towards the back end. The back end, you got to play Eagles, Chiefs, at Lions, Vikings, Chargers, at Commanders. There's going to be some losses in there because the defense just is what it is. But I think Schottenheimer he's been very underrated because Dak gets so many headlines, justifiably so. But yeah, this team has upside.
But if they could bank some wins here in this, the week 6 through 11, right? Panthers, Commanders, Broncos, Cardinals. They got a bye in Week 10 at the Raiders. Okay, fine.
You can go 4-1 heading into the
and then Week 12 through 16, tough schedule, but all home games except the Week 14 game at the Lions, right? Home to the Eagles, home to the Chiefs. That's the Thanksgiving game. You can see them sneaking one out there. Week 14 at the Lions. Week 15, home to the Vikings. That's on NBC and Peacock. That's the Sunday night game. And then the Chargers in Week 16 home. So like if they could split those. Yep. Split the home games, which is certainly,
Yeah,
I can make the case. I can make the case.
My bet there would be Shanahan, though, at 8-1. Kyle Shanahan plays Shane Steichen on Monday Night Football in Week 16. I think that game decides
Coach of the Year. Nice.
Coach of the Year ball.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.